Sailing.
Set it right there. Perfect. Beautiful instrument. How long you got it?
They're both Christopher Cross. That's a hey.
How else do you have to have it restrung?
would like, when they do start playing either day, just to show her your gratitude for today. Let us stay here. But if you like, well, Dr. Thomas, good job. But I'm saying, you guys can drop change in. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right, guys, listen, I want you guys to say thank you to Ellie for being with us today. Thank you, thank you. And we have passed the bag and made a little collection. Since you wouldn't let us pay you, the very least we could do is pass the bag and express our gratitude on an individual basis. So thank you so much. And we've also given her a commemorative T-shirt so she can talk us up in the literati community. And we've given her a Forbes pin too. That's right. So thank you so much, Ellie. Thank you so much.
You made my whole day.
Normally I would say if you wanted to catch more of her attention, you could go to the church that she performs at, any one of the churches. But she had to take tomorrow off so she could do a Pops concert tomorrow afternoon. So she's busy 7 days a week. Thank you. In the middle?
Yes.
Standbys, okay? Okay, cool.
By the way, I want to mention that we were talking, but it was so pleasant.
Oh, good.
I don't know.
Nobody was crying or dozing off.
Which means she wasn't at church.
If I'd been at home, I could have went to sleep to it.
Better than the rap music you used to play.
And by the way, if you would like to doze off every night listening to this, just go to harpwoman.com and she has 6 or 7 CDs that you can buy from her
Don't
today.
operate any motor vehicles while you are here. Just a warning. Or a sleigh. Oh,
Lunch hanging out?
Have to make sure.
Gotta turn my volume up.
And this worked out
How long do you think we'll be here?
Figured 3 at least.
3 hours?
No, 3 o'clock.
All right.
Maybe 3:30.
I'll be right back. Okay.
This is our first chapter meeting of the year, so.
I noticed that Mrs. Sanders has a dispute with promotion about
You know, Rankin Bass showed Mrs. Claus to be red-haired, so maybe that has something to do with it. Yeah, according to Rankin Bass, Mrs. Claus has red hair. Yeah. I know. That's what Ellie was saying. She couldn't help but notice that there were a number of Mrs. Clauses in the room with red hair. I told her to thank Rankin Bass, who showed Mrs. Claus as a redhead.
Yes.
It's everyone's dream.
Thank you, Ellie. I love you.
Thank you.
No, she's got hers, yeah. This shirt is in the raffle, as are those 2 pins up there. Everything but the box. Here's your lunch over here, baby. All right.
When she walked up in the car, and 2 bikes like that, and they watched her walk in, and they go, was that the heart? That's right.
Oh, well, at least that time I didn't have my glasses on top of my head while I was squinting.
Well, that's nothing. I'm in the movies. My glasses, and Diva says me going on your head. And I'm like, oh yeah, those are.
On your
And
face,
of course,
you
they,
still
of
can't
course,
see.
they had in the movie, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, before the luncheon, I just didn't tell anybody.
You better go too soon.
No, I applied for that supervisor position, and my manager was advocating for me. Home office decided to hire somebody with experience from the outside, and 6 weeks later, she let me go. But I probably made a really big mistake when I told her, I just want you to know, in case nobody else has told you, I applied for your job, the job you got, but I didn't want you to hear it from somebody else and think that I have a problem with it. I do not. I'm cool. I'm good. Apparently I was a threat instead. So, life goes on. Hey, life goes on. There's a bigger and better thing in my future somewhere. I hope.
Wow.
No, I have
And
faith,
his
you know.
name is Rick Irwin.
You know, like I...
Uh-oh, that got the frog in the throat.
Hey, your happy meter's going into the red.
Oh wait, he said that. That was because of the harpist. No, as I told people, the entire office was shocked. They were like, everybody here, you are the last one we would have ever thought. I said, oh well. So I kind of attributed it to either the threat or we had a state audit last year, and they got to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars on the state audit, and I know I was one of the highest paid people in the office. Like I used to tell recruiters, they used to go, you're underpaid. This was years ago. You know you're underpaid? You know you're underpaid? Yep, but when they're chopping that totem pole, I'm near the bottom. I'm not worried about that. I'd rather be near the bottom than the top, you know. But over the years, I got closer and closer to the top. 30 years in the business. So, life goes on. So I figured they needed to cut some stuff where they needed to cut some stuff, and they can bring in somebody else that has to pay. So, and now that I'm getting older, I now know what it's like to not know how to find something so quickly. So, but life goes on. He went back to work. That's a big help because I don't have to go for the really good salary that I was making.
Wait, you're getting
I can
older?
go for less.
I thought we had a deal.
I already told you you're not wired for 220 nor 225s, okay? Don't anybody tell him that I'm getting older.
I hope nobody notices how long you've been saying you're 49.
Oh, you're funny. I graduate this year. Yay, I graduate. You ever belong to the Red Hat Society? They graduate when they turn 50. From a pink hat to a red hat. Like I'm in 2 Red Hat societies. No, I haven't done anything with the Red Hat ladies for a while. But the first time that I met the Red Hat ladies was in Oceanside at a Red Hat Society thing, and I was Mrs. Claus with Bruce Nielsen. His wife couldn't work that day, so he asked if I would be his Mrs. Claus. So when they met me, I was in full gear. And I joined the Mad Hatters of Costa Mesa because that's the table I sat at that day. Out of these like 500 women that were in this room, I sat with the ladies from Costa Mesa just by chance. So their first event after that was Los Alamitos Racetrack. And I said, I'd love to go. I'll meet you guys there. So I went, got a pink hat. I cooled it all up, got some lavender clothing. Showed up and I went, hi ladies. They went, hello. And I went, oh, I'm Mistress Claus. Because I was calling myself Mistress Claus because my son was like, if you're working with another son, doesn't that make you a mistress? I'm like, I'm Mistress Claus. Anyway, so that they met me in full gear and didn't have a clue who I was when I showed up.
So what, you want to start taking still?
There's not really a membership like we have, you can just kind of go with them wherever they, but you guys, this whole thing grew more and more, and it became more and more of my life that I never have time to get together. I haven't gotten together with them like 3 years.
Oh, wow.
It's been a while. Son of David Nelson. He's in Lynn Empire. Yes, I'm saying this as a fact. And he was one of our bells. The 5 guys that were on stage with in the Jingle Bell thing in the talent show. He was one of them. He's one of the ones I talked into it. You okay?
Yeah.
You're still thinking about me gagging because of him?
No.
We've successfully erased that from our memory banks.
I didn't.
Please keep trying to re-inject it. Please regurgitate that visual
It was
image.
rather interesting in that room today, huh?
Yeah.
Did you get to meet anybody after we left?
I went up to Kevin and shook his hand, and that was it.
Is that how you guys came into the... Really? And he didn't do anything? Say anything? Nothing?
He asked me to.
Of the dressing
Yes,
right down
yes.
there.
He asked me to
Yeah,
come to
yeah,
some
lots
of the
of the other.
SoCal
I love
meetings.
it.
I just picked
Thank you, honey. Say it again.
Go and take me.
SoCal.
Let me know when they are, and I'll try to go with you.
I keep sending
I've decided I'm going to go.
invites to come to it. I delete them off my phone. I'm not part of that.
Yeah, I looked at Scott. I was like, you see Alan? Got him right over here. He's like, I don't know who that is. I went, remember the day at the park? That would be him.
You don't think his forgetting was a good thing?
Well, you guys were brand new at that point, huh? Really brand new. I know Dennis Skiles and Debbie were too. I was like, oh, this does not look good.
Well, they did the blow-up, actually.
I love you.
Santinelli sent us down with Ed, the one that did Earl. I always call him the railroad guy.
The railroad guy. That's right.
Exactly. And everybody will know who he is if
They
he
always
always
set
sat
us
around.
down with that, with him and his, I think his wife or something.
Probably.
He does this at the museum.
At the one in, when you guys were voting on officers.
Oh, and at the Elks Lodge. Yeah, that was an interesting day in itself.
I looked at my wife and I looked at my wife and do you want a blind screen?
Do you know that happened with others too?
Really?
Angelica and her husband, I can't think of their last name.
Karcher.
The Karchers. They were sitting at my table that day at the Elks Lodge, and I was looking at them going, please do not, because they were saying, is this really what we want? I'm like, please do not mistake this. There is something going on. There's some bad people in this right now, and please, we're just trying to get it back on track here and go forward. And they don't have. Of course, they're out of town a lot too. They were having their house remodeled. That's where Eloyd stays when he comes down.
Oh, wow.
He was staying in their house that was being remodeled or something. but they travel a lot, I guess. So we don't see them very often, but I was like, there were a couple of couples at the table that day. I was like, oh my God, this is just wrong timing.
And I asked him, I said, is this how they act? In fact, like little school kids in the schoolyard. Why don't they just take it outside and duke it out? And then it'll be all over with. Yep.
Yeah, but then you wanted Jenny and I to do that too? No, I'm kidding. I'm totally teasing.
We were going to do that, but then the pay-per-view contract fell through and nobody wanted to do it for free.
Oh, okay. That was a weird day. I'm glad we stuck with you guys.
I'm glad you did too. I'm glad that people saw that wasn't the norm and that it was just a bad time and that it stepped up and eventually just dropped away and yeah.
You can feel the tension in that room.
No, you think? Just in the election alone for what was I going for? Secretary?
Diva, get your camera, start recording. Use my camera, start recording. Oh, he's going to record. Okay, never mind. All right. Okay. All right, guys. I think everybody's pretty much gotten to a point in their meal that we can begin the meeting. We are running just a little bit behind as it is anyway. So, flag. All right, so having already had our invocation, we will open the ceremonies with the Pledge of Allegiance. If I could have you guys rise and uncover.
I want to sing the national anthem.
Okay, and I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, thank you. Okay, as usual, we will thank today's host. In this case, it is Diva Claus, so let's don't get exaggerated about it. Just a mild nod in her direction is sufficient. Okay. I want to welcome any guests we have today. Where's my glasses at?
On your shirt.
Thank you. I didn't even check the top of my head that time. Okay. Marianne. Yeah, okay. All right, well, I definitely want to welcome Marianne. Jim Hallisey's daughter was with us today. I'm sorry, wife is with us today. She hardly ever comes to the meetings. It's the first time I've got to meet her, I think. So, here. So just out of curiosity, did you win the lottery or lose a bet? Why are you here today? All right, just kidding. Is there anybody else here for the first time today? All right, Dave Nelson is here today. Drove all the way from Kentucky. What a commute, man. Of course, with the sleigh, it's not that long, is it, right? If you can get all 8 of the reindeer attached, it's not that long. And Corey, of course, with him today. Dave and Corey drove in from Montana. There we go. All right. And, of course, the San Diego chapter is amply represented today. And we have from Oregon, of course. I am not above bringing in from other parts of the country distinguished guests to make our meetings look good. That would be Ed and Lori Taylor, and we will be turning the meeting over to Santa Ed in a little while. He is going to explain a particular act of generosity that he is going to perform for FORBS, and we will thank him at that point. Next is our Sunshine Report, and by the way, and the Inland Empire, of course. I'm so sorry. The Inland Empire is here also in the house. I see the Perones are here. Anybody else from the Inland Empire chapter here today? Oh, of course. Thank you, Lauren and Diane. I'm sorry. You were sitting behind Bob's head, and I couldn't see you. I apologize to Bob. And of course, we're glad to see the mentors here today, of course, as usual. And Nellie and Ava are here with us again today. Thank you. I'm just glad their cruise ship was able to dock for the weekend and spare them for 40. Okay. I guess that's that. And if there's anybody else here with the guests, I appreciate you coming. The Sunshine Report, Diva. Oh, by the way, before I turn into any of the officers for reports, I just want to make clear that if any of them are no more prepared for this meeting than I am, they will not be held any more responsible than I am going to hold myself. I should point out very quickly that my life has changed since we met last at the reunion even. I know. Well, thank you. Keep it to yourself. Security. He's the one I was telling you about. But anyway, I have returned to the workforce after 22 years to help secure health care for my family, and as a result, my life has turned upside down. I am working 11 to 7, pretty much 7 nights a week, and that does not leave that much time for me to plug in the gaps that I have in the Santa world. I apologize in advance for the fact that I'm going to have to lay down a lot of my duties in the Santa world, and I especially apologize to those who are going to have to take up the slack. At this point, I would formally invite everyone in the room to search their hearts and search the Santa community around them, and to put it as simply as possible, find a need and fill it. That's all I can ask. There is a lot to be done in the Santa community, and there are a lot of tasks that you can fulfill from the comfort of your own home. We have protocols in place. We have people who have practices and procedures that they would be happy to share with you, and you could put in a couple of hours a week and really make a tremendous difference in the Santa community. So beginning at the chapter level, and then participating in the regional opportunities as well, and the joint group activities, the joint chapter events that we have several times a year, there's plenty to do, and you guys will feel a lot better. I know you feel good about yourself now, but you'll feel a little bit better about yourself if you just pitch in and help somebody. So I definitely don't want to dump everything that I'm laying down in Bob's lap. So if anybody could help pick up some of that slack, I would appreciate it. You know what? I've been courting Nellie for years now, and if we could get him to just pick up the flag for a little while and carry a little bit of water, that would be a tremendous difference in the world. And
Did you see what she did?
make no mistake about it, when this organization came into existence, there were 3 Santas pulling that sleigh. Bob and Nellie were 2 of them. So we, no matter what he does in the future, we will always owe Nellie a debt of gratitude, and I will always consider him my mentor. Okay, having said, go ahead, Lauren.
Volunteered to put the flag on his motorhome.
Hey, you know what? Word of mouth advertising everywhere they go. And if he could translate it into Croatian or Lithuanian or wherever they go in Europe, so I'd appreciate that too. All right, Sunshine Report, Diva.
It's slightly. Slightly sunny today. It's supposed to rain possibly tomorrow. Do we have any birthdays in the house today for the month of February? Oh, Diana. Sing happy birthday to Diana.
Wait a minute. Is there anybody else too shy to stick your hand up first? She already has now. Anybody else in February? How many birthdays or anniversaries in February? Okay, hopefully. Are you serious? An anniversary?
Yeah.
A little more than you
45.
Every time the sun...
5 years.
She's excited about it.
I was 4 years old.
That's not because of the first song he sang at luncheon.
But it didn't hurt. But that didn't hurt either. That was a very romantic ballad from an Irish heart right there.
So happy birthday to Diana Monte. 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Diana. Happy birthday to you. Lauren.
I know I'm supposed to be anonymous.
I'm supposed to be.
No, it's for the recording. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm supposed to be anonymous, but
And in this group you are.
if I white knuckle it tonight, I've told a few people about this already. I'm going to be celebrating 25 years clean and sober.
Hey!
So, tomorrow. So, otherwise you would have never met me.
I was 4 years old then too.
Yeah.
Thank you all for coming in, Jack. We had a blast at lunch. I just wanted to say that. I know I was running around like I do at these things with like a chicken with my head cut off. So if you're looking for a chicken with their head cut off, right here we are. He's more of a chicken than I am, but thank you all. Thank you all for the donations to the raffles that I'm expecting this year, and have a nice day today.
All right. I am chicken. Okay, I'll tell you what. Debbie, activities for the next couple of months?
On the right.
For March, we'll be having it at the Elks. I need to get a hold of Randy and Luann.
Okay. Our March meeting is the third Saturday of the third Saturday in March at Elks Lodge. These will be on the website, of course. These will be on the website.
And then Shar, has a Santa cruise if anybody's interested in going. It's in September 11th through the 14th. It's about $400 for the weekend. So if anybody's interested, you can get a hold of Shar Martin.
I will be trying to send the information out. Shar Martin is Forbes' official cruise director or travel agent, and she's been for a number of years, she's been trying to put together a Santa cruise for us. The logistics have just not been working out. We've tried to do it in conjunction with the reunion, but as anyone who cruises a bit knows, there's not a whole lot going on in the cruise industry at that time of the year. So Char's trying to put together another Santa cruise, and I will try to get the details out to you guys. She's got the price down to $400, so maybe you'll be interested.
We can drive to Santa Cruz a lot faster.
Through San Pedro.
Where's it going?
Mexico, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But I mean, that's negotiable.
Yeah,
too.
sure.
Yeah, I love it. And then
Our April meeting?
for April, it is San Juan Capistrano.
Oh, yeah, Sarducci's. That's our April meeting, Sarducci.
April
Okay,
18th.
all right. Yeah, okay.
April 18th.
That's our wedding anniversary.
That's the day before our anniversary.
And then Inland Empires, you can give it to Kathy.
Okay, right. Okay, we'll do that then. All right, guys, our March meeting is, was it the 21st? Okay, and our April meeting will be the 18th at Sarducci's. And since we have the Queen Bee from the Inland Empire with us, I'll let her tell you about their activities. And they have some activities.
Thank you, Santa Rick. March 14th at Caro's in Rancho Cucamonga, which is a Saturday, we're having our annual St. Patrick's Day extravaganza. We're going to have the ukulele players come again. And the room is 3 times the size of this room. So we'll be able to accommodate lots of people as well as ukulele players and their friends. And remember, we always get a really big 50-50 when we have that huge group. So yay. Yeah. April is going to be at Felipe's. And that's going to be on the 11th of April.
Is that in Norco?
Yeah. And then May is our biggie, our baseball event, where Diva's going to sing again. and that's going to be on May 2nd on a Saturday, and it's going to be in the afternoon. And I brought my order forms and everything. You know, I can take. I need to have the tickets purchased and paid for by April the 11th because I'm buying the tickets on the 13th. So I brought flyers. We're going to meet at Pyology for those who want to have a pre-dinner event.
We'll distribute the flyers. There we go.
And we're going to then go on to the game. It's $8 for the tickets. It's cash only. Yes.
Okay.
I just, for people that don't know what Pyology is,
Okay.
it's a place to go get in line, you pick what you want on your pizza, and a few minutes later, they bring it to your table. It's very awesome. It's reasonably priced and good food.
Yeah, it's, I don't want to take up too much of the meeting's time, so I just wanted to let you know that after the meeting, those who haven't, so far, I've sold 5 tickets, yay. Those who want to prepay for your tickets today, I can just meet with you after the meeting, and I've got the receipt book and everything. And the other thing is, it's kind of a little off the record. I don't know if you noticed Peter's shirt, but this is the 2014 Christmas shirt, and you can get them at JP Maxwell's for $58 right now instead of $94. Oh, he's in the bathroom.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Take a look at the shirt when he comes back. Okay, that's it.
All right. C. Sure. Sure. Go ahead. Well, okay.
We also, in the Inland Empire, are going to be cooking a meal for Ronald McDonald House out in Yorba Linda.
All right.
And we only have a certain amount of people that we are allowed to have there as servers and cooks. So we've already got our number. But we're going to be seeing how this works out because everything's got to be cooked there. Some people wanted to have the sausages and the meatballs done before we got there, but they don't allow that. Everything's got to be done there. So depending on how well this goes, it might be a model for different groups that want to do something like this also because you have a Ronald McDonald House here in Orange County, I understand, and probably one down in San Diego because they take care of different groups. And we're going to see how this works out and how well we coordinate this and maybe work out some kinks after we get done and see what the results are. So if anybody, I don't know, just keep it in mind that we're going to be doing that, I think, on the 17th of April. So Diane and I are working on that, and she's putting most of it together. So I want to give a hand also, just not to the Santas, because we're part of the group here, but the women are too. And I think the women work really hard for the benefit of this group. So remember that.
That is, in fact, why the theme of the first meeting of the Orange County Santas this year was deliberately intended to thank the Mrs. Clauses and our spouse who support us so richly throughout the year. So the theme today was belated Valentine's Day to all of the women who are here and support us so much and so well. The next item on the agenda is a reunion report, and I will hand the microphone over to Bob Callahan, our the chapter treasurer and president of FORBS.
Okay, the good news is we got money in the bank. The bad news is...
The bookies are looking for it.
No, the bad news is that Orange County chapter funds are in the same bank in the same account. Okay, so that didn't get segregated on this thing, but our chapter only has a couple of $100. What we have is what people paid $10 in order to join the Orange County chapter. And we haven't had any expenses, so we just keep throwing it in there. Okay, if you go down this thing, we dealt with a whole lot of money. Almost $4,000 to the park and $6,500 to the hotel. But thanks to the generosity of our members and our guests with all those incredible baskets, and the timeshare from Will and Sharon.
Here, 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 here.
Gracious. And the Santa suits, why, the raffle came out with $2,518. That's a lot of what this profit is from this. Now, on an annual basis, why we share some of this money with the chapters, and we anticipate doing this again. However, Forbes has been operating without owners, officers, directors insurance. Probably not a good thing to do. Since I own my own house, why, it's a little shaky. And if we wanna get that, it's like $2,800. So if we had the money left over from this, why, then we would feel more comfortable doing this. Not that we have some money in the Forbes account too, from Forbes dues. We have to hold $4,000 in the Forbes account so that we don't have to pay anything in there, but we have excess of that. So between divvying it out to the chapters and maybe paying some additional insurance, why, we're just about breaking even and doing good. Any questions or suggestions or?
Part of that goes to deposits to the hotels for next year.
Right.
But I was also going to say that if we paid that extra $2,800, it would also make it a little bit more safe for everybody that's involved.
Yes. Yeah, for everybody that signs their name on the dotted line, yeah.
Which would be part of doing business right.
Right. Yes.
Protecting the people.
Okay, but anyway, I want to thank everybody who attended. I want to thank everybody for all the effort that they put into it. This was a joint effort with so many people doing so much. Ted,
Here.
Do you send out a thank you letter to like the Santa suit gal?
Yes.
Yes, everybody that made a donation has already gotten a thank you note. From small to large.
I'm sorry, we did get a letter. The chapter got a letter for its basket, and I forgot to bring it with me today. I would have read it to you. I'll put it in the next broadcast.
Right.
Again?
And,
at least I'll know what it's for this time.
Yeah. and we got to thank you for the Forbes basket, and everybody that donated anything got a thank you note from Susan Larson, who does an incredible job with that luncheon. And on top of that, why, I would make point, if anybody knows them, Paul and Pat Porter, they got a new roll of tickets, and they went out and they sold the whole roll of tickets and had to come back and get some more and sold them too. Just incredible. But anyway, so many people did so much and so many people gave so much. I thank you all, and I hope everybody had a wonderful time.
Great.
Make sure you come to San Diego.
Oh, okay. Okay, new subject. I didn't tell Rick that I was going to do up with it. Back in, I don't know, at Debbie England's outing, August, why we supported Sustainable Santa. And we wrote them a check for $55 to help.
With the login, sign-in fees for the people who participated.
With the help with the sign-in fees for Sustainable Santa. Well, the project didn't go. He's hoping it'll go next year, and he has returned the check to.
I gained weight, not lost weight.
So if anybody was involved with it, why that's it. He didn't get enough participants to keep it going.
Ted, did you have a question?
Well, I was going to suggest that if he does that again, he has a cardboard cutout of a buffed out Santa. I think we need to have everybody get one of those. That way there, whenever we go out and do a job, put the buffed out Santa next to us and show how important it is to lose weight.
I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so glad to hear that he got that cardboard cutout. When he asked us for some participation, then we offered to put together postcards for his project. When I designed the card, I came up with that buff Santa look. And at first he wanted me to redesign the card because he rejected the concept. But I'd already ordered the cards, so we sent them to him anyway. And he wrote me back, and he's a good man. He's a good, honest, integrity man. And he wrote me back the first day he took those cards out into the field. The mothers were all over it. They said, "This is the greatest thing I have ever seen for Santa to set such." And he wrote me. He said, "I'm an honest man. I'll admit when I was wrong, and that was the best design you could have put on those cards." So he did get some mileage out of that, and those cards did go to the media. So if you ever run across them on the web somewhere, feel free to drop me a line, because he sent it to a lot of reporters and a lot of editors and things, and there's a pretty good chance that those cards might be out there on the web somewhere. Speaking of on the web, a month after our reunion, Los Angeles Times finally did a spread on us. Yeah, and it turned out to be very good. It was very positive, and we're always grateful for positive media coverage when we get it. Okay, so the next section is old business, but since this is our first meeting of the year, I don't think there is any old business. Is there anybody who would like to bring any old business before the chapter? I'm old and she gives me the business, but I'm not sure that qualifies. So, okay, moving on to new business. I'm going to save this thing for last. And at this point, I would like to recognize Santa Ed Taylor from Oregon, who also runs, as you guys know, by way of introduction, as you guys know, for the last couple of years, Santa Ed has been kind enough to do a professional workshop for our reunion. He specializes in conducting Santa visits online. He's developed his own protocols and his own proprietary software, and he has recruited to, as far as I know, dozens and dozens of Santas to work this past year. So he has a school that he has put together. He put on his first online seminar this past week. He sent an invitation out to the entire Santa community. He offered basically a free scholarship to any Santa in the world that wanted to attend his first seminar, hoping to get 80 or 100 people together. At 280 RSVPs, the company that was providing him with the bandwidth said, "We'll cut it off at 100. The first 100 people that join your seminar can participate. Everybody else can watch, and you can give them the video." So his first seminar a couple of weeks ago was an explosive success. He followed it up with a second seminar almost immediately for those who couldn't get into the first one, and he's even been kind enough now to offer FORBS a number of scholarships to his future academies. So I will hand the mic over to him, and he can explain what the offer is.
Thank you. Thanks, Rick. Yeah, so let me give a brief overview. So what I did is I created what I'm calling the Santa Claus Conservatory, which is just a little training school, all online. And we use GoToMeeting, the software GoToMeeting, and you can attend from your computer at home. And I've structured 9 classes. And the first one is just starting up your Santa business. And so we talk a little bit about contracts and all the different things that I've used. And I was a volunteer Santa for 6 years, and I've been a paid Santa or whatever for the last 4. And during those last 4, I've done pretty well, I think, by most standards. I made actually right around $100,000 last year. So I'm trying to share what I've learned and all that I can. So the second class is about marketing your business. How I was an internet marketing consultant for 20 years leading up to all of this. So I'm pretty familiar with online marketing stuff. So that's our second class. And then the third one is doing, I think it's corporate visits or home visits or something. Anyway, we have 9 total classes, 3 in March, 3 in April, 3 in May. The cost is $197 per segment. 197 for the first 3, 197 for the second 3, 197 for the third 3, or you can get all 9 with a $50 discount that brings it down to 542. What I'm offering is this, and I don't know if it applies to any of you in here, or maybe you know someone, but in my introductory sessions, I've had somewhere near 200 Santas that have listened to my introductory sessions. Quite a few of them have sent me emails saying, I would love to take your class, I just can't afford it. And what I would like to do is give some of those Santas access. And if you're one of them, I'd love to give you access, but I can't give everybody access. And I felt weird being the guy saying, I'm going to give it to you, but I'm not going to give it to you. So what I really was trying to do is have Forbes say, tell Forbes, hey, I'll give you 3 scholarships. You guys help decide who's most worthy, or however that process is. So I'm not on that hook, but I would love to do it. So if you can nominate someone, or if you are that someone, I would love to have you in the class and let Bob or Rick or somebody know that, hey, I would like to do that, and then we'll go through whatever the criteria is and get you in. So we would love to do that. So anyway, that's what it's all about. Okay?
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm not real good at math, but somebody help me out. That's like $1,500 plus contribution to the fraternal order. My hat's off to you, my brother. Thank you very much. And it's ironic that he would propose nominations for the acceptance of that, because the next item on our agenda happens to be our only real official order of business today for the February meeting. We have elections coming up. We have chapter elections coming up. So we will, as we have in years past, we will open nominations at the March meeting, and we will reopen nominations at the April meeting before the elections take place at the April meeting. However, we need to form a nominations/elections committee now so that we can organize the protocols in advance of the March meeting next month. And at this point, I would invite each of you to consider volunteering for the nominations committee for the Santas of the OC. I believe everybody in the room is a member of the Santas of the OC, and that means you're eligible to work on any of the committees that we form. And the Willises have offered to join Santas of the OC. The Willises. He's Mr. Willis and she's Mrs. Willis. I'm sorry, the Conleys. Okay, so anyway, they're about to join the chapter, so that means anybody in the room is qualified to join the nominations committee. And I'm going to open the floor right now we need I would say 3 people to work on the nominations committee, and your duties will be very simple. We will send out a broadcast asking everyone who would like to, actually we could open the nominations almost immediately, but the people on the nominations committee will basically certify the membership of anyone who nominates themselves or someone else, anyone nominated to serve as an officer for the Santas of the OC. We will certify their membership, and we will put their name on the ballot. The nominations, sorry? Yes, exactly. The nominations committee will present the chapter with, we'll open the nominations next month, and based on the nominations in March and the reopened nominations in April, the nominations committee will present the chapter with a finalized slate just before the elections at the April meeting. So there's not that much involved, and this would be the perfect opportunity for you guys to get your feet wet and volunteer with the chapter. So would anyone like to be Ted Tardy? Thank you. Lauren Montag, excellent, thank you. Ed Taylor, how is that? Great, I love that. Okay, so we've got 3 guys on the nominations committee right now. We will let you guys determine whatever, if you need a chair, you can all be co-chairs. We don't really care, so it's entirely up to you. Please let the minutes reflect that the nominations committee now consists of Santa Ted Tardy, Santa Lauren Montag, and Santa Ed Taylor. And thank you, gentlemen, for your service. We will reopen we will open the nominations at the meeting next month, and we will reopen them and hold elections at the April meeting. Okay. Yes?
Does it mean us contacting the members?
Does it mean that we contact the members and ask them if they have any suggestions or nominations?
Yeah,
Each
I think
one,
that would be a good way to go.
And if they have none, of course, then we let it go, or how do we do this?
We should give you a chapter roster, I would say, and let you have at them.
You're going to have a chance at the next meeting to nominate people from the floor, as well as the last meeting.
That's
March
true.
and April. So you're going to have two opportunities besides what we can dig up in between.
All right.
Sound good?
But by dig up, could that mean people volunteering?
You are free to secure nominations independently, absolutely.
I can send an email if I had a list.
No. April.
That way, any
Argue with Bob.
Yeah, what we did in San Diego, I did it last year, and I'm doing it again this year for the charter down there. We have 4 of us. We divide the roster up. We asked at the last meeting if anybody wanted to volunteer. Nobody stepped forward yet, but we will call so many people, each one, we will call and see if anybody wants to go ahead and volunteer for any post or office, I should say.
Should we mention if someone says, no, I'm not available because of my time, but why don't you use so-and-so? When we call them, do you mention that someone brought up your name?
Yeah. Sure.
Absolutely. I'd make up a few such nominations if I were you. Yeah, I'm hearing your name everywhere, man.
But it works, so you just have to call them, and it takes 5 minutes to call somebody and talk to them, and you'll end up with a slate then. So.
Never underestimate the value of flattery when you're dealing with type A personalities. Trust me on this. Okay. All right. We have no more business, so we are about to turn this over to the queen bee of the raffle. But before we do, I want to point out some of the raffle gifts that we have. Someone has donated. Say it again. No. Well, we will before we actually distribute the gifts. Well, okay. For the sake of consistency and to give the secretary a break, I will entertain a motion to close the meeting at this time.
I make a motion to close the meeting.
It's been moved. We close the meeting. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Thank you guys so much. All right, now moving on to the prizes today.